Всем большой привет, Эйприл на связи. Играем в Face Noir. Нам нужно найти патроны для нашего револьвера. Это же револьвер. Он называет пистолет. Ладно, я не очень хорошо разбираюсь в оружии. Хотя, да. Вообще было бы интересно, но почему-то от меня, как-то мимо меня эта тема прошла вообще.
No, I have some.
Угу. Слушайте, а куда он мог идти?
Even though I'm really tempted, I don't have time to rest right now. No, I have something. No, I have something else to do now. No, I have something else to do now.
Может... Нет, здесь нет. Вот...
Maybe another time. A series of use as if there were an elegant way to take a bullet in the thigh.
Нет, я думаю, что он просто их спрятал где-то, правильно?
I don't need the phone. The only useful thing on this shelf is the New York phone book.
Ага.
Maybe a manual on processing jade, an essay on sleepwalking, and a treatise on the story of the Knights Templar. I must have been drunk when I bought these books.
Я тоже об этом подумала. Ай, да, забавно.
It's a letter from Slavonsky, the apartment owner.
Dear Mr. Del Nero, please remember that you are 2 months late with rent. You are asked to fulfill your duties as renter to avoid unpleasant consequences. This is the last notice that I send. If you do not pay, I take drastic measures. Sincerely, Vladimir Alexandrovich Slavonsky.
If I had the money, I'd pay the rent. It's the third threat of eviction that this stingy Russian has sent me this month. And I think it can keep the other two company.
Еще с таким акцентом просто.
I'm not going to pick a map of Italy. I'll go back there one day.
Что здесь?
No, I don't. Family photographs before I left. It cost a lot to take a photograph back then. My mother insisted, and they took 5, one for each of us. I wonder how they are. It's been more than 20 years since I left Italy.
Интересно, сколько ему лет-то было? Давайте здесь все осмотрим тогда.
I doubt I'll find any.
Хорошо, здесь ты не найдешь.
No. No, I already got my gun back.
Угу.
Here are the bullets. Let's hope they didn't rot over the years.
Отлично.
Great. There are just 3 bullets. Better to be an optimist and see the magazine half full rather than half empty. There are just 3 bullets.
Хорошо, берем их.
Good. The gun is loaded now.
Все, теперь мы можем идти в доки или куда он там собрался.
That's a cab. Since my car is still parked in Harlem, it's the only way that I can get to Brooklyn. cab. That's just what I need.
Отлично, давайте. Едем.
Hi, buddy. I help you?
Take me to the Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Sorry, friend. I know in service.
What does that mean?
It means I no work. I on break. No ride, no work, and no question. I on break.
When is your break over?
Oh, I don't know. Can be 2 or 3 hours.
You're on a 3-hour break? What kind of nightcab are you if you take a 3-hour break in the middle of the night?
I don't talk about my work with you, especially when I on break.
I need to go to the Melville Port. It's urgent.
Buddy, it's your problem, not mine. I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
Take me to the Melville Port. I'll pay you twice the fare.
I no want money. I earn big money today. And now I on break.
Big money today. А,
Damn, driver. Take me to the Melville Port right now.
You deaf power? I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
Goodbye.
You said white word. Goodbye.
Хорошо, давайте попробуем позвонить в таксопарк тогда. Добро пожаловать. Смотри-ка, вот он снимает... Да, он снимает вот эту, я не знаю даже как назвать, студию. Ну, маленькую квартирку. И ему вот так все хорошо оформили, то есть с его именем, даже как это сказать, ну вроде как будто бы такой вроде кабинетик, вроде квартирка, то есть, ой, ну конечно, что еще там могло быть?
I think this is a matryoshka. Even if, from that sour expression, it doesn't look like something a kid would play with.
Принятие. Добро пожаловать. Да, ну, опять вот такое, знаете, стереотипичное, вот если русский хозяин, да, и, естественно, он по-русски должен быть тут все оформить с матрешками. Хотя, да. Ладно. Давайте позвоним.
New York operator, what can I...
The taxi company, please.
1 second. Hello, Binkle Taxi. What can I do for you?
Заплатите с меня аренду.
I need a cab.
Where are you?
Essex Street, on the Lower East Side.
Hold, please. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry, but the only driver in your area isn't answering his radio. He seems to have disappeared into thin air.
You don't have any other cab?
No, not right now. No one wants to work the night shift in South New York. The area is full of knuckleheads.
So the only cab available in this area is the one with this disappeared driver.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in days. We even reported him missing to the police, but they don't care about a disappeared Mexican cab driver. They keep telling us that sooner or later a detective will contact us by radio and they'll start an investigation, but I still haven't heard from anyone. Anyway, I can send you a cab from Harlem, but it'll still take about half an hour.
No, I can't wait. I'll figure out something else.
Okay, bye.
All I needed was a missing cab driver. It seems that the only way to get away from here is that damn Chinese cab driver.
Да.
A damned cab on break.
You again, buddy? I already told you, I on break.
The company says that there are no cabs in the area.
Well, obviously. I only cab driver in area.
Hey, wait. The receptionist said the only cab driver for this area disappeared 3 days ago.
Disappear? I know disappear. I know answer radio, that all.
And why don't you answer the radio?
I sell it, make big money.
You sold the
Нормально.
radio?
Yes, sold. I pick up more client going round. Radio no help.
А, Отлично.
Something smells fishy.
And what you want now?
The receptionist said the cab driver who disappeared was a fat Mexican. And you don't seem much like a fat Mexican.
I no understand what you say.
You understand all too well if you ask me. I'm not interested in your game. But if you're Mexican, I'm Abe Lincoln.
I Mexican. Adopted Mexican. Lived many years in Mexico. With uncle.
Of course. And what's your uncle's name?
My uncle called Diego. Diego de la Vega.
Diego de la Vega is Zorro.
Yes, his friends often call him Zorro.
He's make-believe. He doesn't exist.
What? You tell me my uncle no exist?
Let's knock it off with this story. I don't care who you are, or where you come from, or what you did with a Mexican driver. Just take me to the Melville port, and I'll keep my mouth shut about all this. Easy, right?
You blackmail me.
You can call it whatever you want. That's just how things are.
I no listen to blackmail.
Whatever you want. I hope the police believe your story about being Zorro's Chinese nephew.
Okay. You win. You get in cab, but no say nothing to nobody about this.
That's better.
Обо мне
Where we
любимом
go?
дяде.
The Melville port in Brooklyn. The cab glides over Manhattan Bridge, a solitary figure ignoring the speed limit. In my head, a quartet of pneumatic hammers continues to bang on my temples, reminding me that there's still a good amount of whiskey in my veins. Not exactly the best way to go to a meeting that seems like it was set up to get rid of someone quickly.
You happy now? I bring you here and now I go away.
You're not going anywhere. Wait for me here.
I must wait you here? I don't want to wait you here. This place is scary. I want to go.
Stop whining or I swear I'll get your taxi driver's license revoked.
License? Need license to drive cab?
Great. A Chinese cab driver without a license who's driving the cab of some Mexican guy that nobody can find.
Welcome to New York.
I didn't come to steal cars. Better not waste time and head for the port's entrance. The appointment was more than half an hour ago.
Хорошо.
There's no one here. This is the right place, and I'm not that late that most people wouldn't still be waiting. I don't like this. I'd better take a look around.
Возьмем палку.
Right now, I don't need it.
Окей.
The f-
О, подожди, что? Что он сказал, я пропустила. Случайно щелкнула.
Before I check out the piers, I better take a look around.
Хорошо.
I think that it's more a stop sign. They don't fit in my coat. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to carry a huge wooden crate around New York. These are the typical things that are essential to make it in a big city. There's a toy company logo. Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus decided to give up his sleigh for a more practical merchant ship. A wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. It's a signal buoy. The anchor must be broken, otherwise there's no reason for it to be so close to the mooring.
Угу.
An open can. Looks like there's pitch in there. It's the harbor master's office. There's a notice. We would like to inform you that the harbor master's office is open daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Ладно.
The sun is shining. Rather optimistic for an act of vandalism. There are barrels and crates everywhere at the port. Crates, barrels, and other crap. Everything that you'd expect to find at a port. A rowboat that has seen better days.
Угу.
Going through the whole port on foot is an experience that I'd rather avoid. Kane and Smith warehouse. Looks like they haven't been used for a while.
Подожди, так а чья это машина? Тут же никого нет.
This car tells me I'm not the only one at the port.
Вот уже действительно. Это телефон. Если я правильно отсюда вижу, как далеко.
They probably called me from this telephone. I remember hearing a ship's siren during the call. There's something on the ground.
А,
Dannazione.
Oh.
It's blood. It's fresh. Very fresh. Otherwise the rain would have washed it away. I didn't like this case right from the very beginning. These traces of blood certainly don't win at any points. What the hell?
да уж. Кто-то уехал.
Dannazione. That Chinese cab driver ran away and left me here. I hate cab drivers. It would be better if I called the police.
Угу. Подожди.
Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operator? Operator. There's no line. Someone must have cut the cables.
Извините
That
за-
explains why the telephone call I received was cut off so abruptly. No cab and no phone. Looks like I'll have to take care of things myself.
Да. Еще раз простите за звуки на заднем плане.
I didn't come to steal cars.
Не украсть, а одолжить. Да не, шутка, конечно, нет. Но мне почему-то кажется, что... Хорошо, а как тогда он
There are
уедет?
just hangars and warehouses for the next 2 miles. Walking is not an option.
Ну да. Именно.
It looks like there's something inside these crates. Let's see. It's part of a pipe. It could be helpful.
Все, да?
A ton of useless stuff.
Окей.
Crates, barrels, and other crap. Everything that you'd expect to find at a port.
Так, может сюда сходить? Да.
It's too dark. I can barely see where I'm stepping, but I can see a blood trail pointing to the docks.
У нас...
My cigarettes, and my lucky...
Подожди.
I don't see how I could use them together.
Подсветить как еще? Подожди, вот тут какая-то...
An
какой-то
electric
ящик.
panel.
Электрический
An
шток.
electric panel.
Открой.
Nothing I can do. The panel is completely useless.
Ну, здесь, к счастью, есть еще
Yes,
фонарик.
I'll take it. The flashlight is in good condition, but it doesn't have any batteries. Finding something ready to be used would have been too easy.
У нас неоткуда батареечки взять, поэтому... Может быть, нам нужно из этого буйка их вытащить.
And what should I use it for? Yes, it's a good idea, but with the stick, I would be only able to touch the buoy. I need something that will help me hook it.
Хорошо. О, нет, подожди, может быть, кусочек трубы подойдет.
The pipe could work like a hook, but I have to find something to connect them.
Ой-ой, там смола какая-то была.
I think I can do without it.
Нет?
I'm not going to pick up every...
Подожди. Это ж смола, да?
An open can. Looks like... The pitch looks like it can still be used.
Хорошо. Подожди. То есть он туда не хочет и...
Yes, I'll take a little.
Да. Все, отлично. Наверное, я не туда просто тыкнула.
Now the pipe is full of pitch.
Отлично. Соединим тогда с этой палкой.
The pitch should work as glue.
Да, давай тогда
A rather...
берем этот крючок.
And what should I use it for? Yes, this should work. The improvised hook does the job. It hooks the buoy and brings it to the pier. Okay, I brought the buoy closer. Okay, let's hope that the buoy takes the same batteries as the flashlight. They take the same batteries. If I weren't already up because of that anonymous call, and I hadn't found traces of blood at a semi-abandoned port, I'd say that today is my lucky day.
Да, пойдемте тогда посмотрим, что там происходит.
I don't see how I could use them together. pitch black. Anyway, I have to
Это что?
It's time to shed some light
А,
on this
хорошо.
story. Gun and flashlight in hand, I walk around the crates scattered around the port. I'm careful to cast my light everywhere that someone could be hiding with the idea of whacking me over the head with something when I least expect it. There isn't anyone on the dock. I decide to look around the piers. And there, I find something that doesn't really surprise me. A dead body. Sean's dead body. I touch his face with my fingers. It's warm. He can't have been dead more than 20 minutes. Rifling through the pockets of his coat, I find a bottle that, from the smell of it, must have rye whiskey in it. And a couple documents with the name John Ford on them. They're done so well, they almost seem real. All of a sudden, a noise behind me brings me back to reality. But it's too late. A set of knuckles meets my jaw like a truck. I fall to the ground. From the rebound, my finger pulls the trigger and the gun goes off. The trajectory of the bullet is as random as my shot. The owner of the fist stands there like a statue, making noises like a caged gorilla at the zoo. I try to think of a quick way to knock him over. He's as big as a house, but a kick to his legs will knock him over like a consumptive kid. Right before I'm about to jump, the guy turns around and runs away. I follow him. But as soon as I get off the piers, a light beam hits me right in the face. "Hands up," says a voice, but I can't see the face. "New York Police," continues the voice.
Del Nero, that's a great story you just told. An anonymous call, a mysterious assailant, and a dead body. Sounds like the plot of one of those crime novels so popular these days.
I bet it's those kinds of books that made you the lieutenant you are today.
Hey, I wouldn't joke if I were you. You're not in a position to be joking. Let's summarize your version of the facts. Around 20 past midnight, you got a call from a man. He said he had information for you and asked you to go to the Melville port. You agreed to meet him. When you got to the port, no one was there. You decided to walk to the piers, and there you discovered the body of Sean McClane, a former police officer who had been your partner in this department years back until the Valenti case when you both got kicked out of the force. And to conclude, you claim that you were assaulted by some mystery guy who was chasing you when you got arrested by Officers Harris and McGee. Now, is this all correct?
It's the third time that I've told you the facts of the matter. I can repeat it as often as you like so that you can see whether I trip up, but that technique isn't going to work.
You are accused of homicide, Del Nero, and I suggest you cooperate with us if you don't want to end up in a cell. There are some unclear points that I'd like to shed some light on, if you don't mind.
Sure. I don't have any other appointments. My knitting class has already ended.
Del Nero, joke around if you think this behavior will help you. At 20 past midnight, you got a telephone call from a man that asked you to go to the old Melville port. You agreed without thinking twice. Let's talk about the telephone call you received.
Голос обещал секс, наркотики.
Answer, or it won't be good for you. Let's talk about the
Ого, то есть это еще на время.
I don't remember.
answer, or it won't be good for you. Let's talk about the...
It was a guy with some information about one of my cases.
Okay. It must have been very important information to make you go to the port in the middle of the night. What information are we talking about?
Ой, вообще, не знаю. Тут...
As you will, I hope you have a nice day. Goodbye.
Done. Great. A homicide charge was all that was missing. I wonder what else this day has in store for me.
Слушайте, а я не знала, что если ты долго ждешь, ну, просто читаешь ответы, и не отвечаешь сразу же, они тебя сажают туда. Ну, как-то неприятно. Ну, у нас все отняли, естественно.
Hey, is there anybody in there? If you plan on keeping me here for long, you could at least give me a magazine to read. This place is boring. It doesn't look like anybody is in there.
Пока не поставили вот этот тут специальный экранчик, точнее, зеркало, с обратной стороны которого можно видеть все, что здесь происходит.
An interrogation table. I'd like to say that it's the first time I've seen one.
Ну, конечно, ты не в первый раз видишь, раз ты работал в полиции. Кажется, это логично.
It's the counter where you return personal effects. Not much that I can do. It's closed.
Ну ладно. Давайте побузим немножко.
What is it?
I want to talk to Malone.
I'll go call him. Don't move.
Damn. I was planning on taking a trip to Easter Island while you were away.
Have you finally decided to cooperate, Del Nero?
Да я уже
just wanna
сразу
get out of here.
решил. Я
The
просто
only
читал
way to get
ответы.
out is to answer my questions. Let's start again. Let's talk about the telephone call you received.
Информация
It
по
was a
делу.
guy with some information about one of my cases.
Okay. It must have been very important information to make you... What
Да.
information...
Может так?
Details on an old unresolved case.
Okay. Based on your story, when you got the call, you went right to the Melville port. How did you get to the port?
Взял такси.
I took a cab.
Interesting. From the telephone records, we know you called a cab company at 12:27, but we don't have any proof that you really did take a cab. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I paid the cab driver so that he'd say nothing.
Okay. When you got to the port, did you meet anybody?
Да, лучше не Ай.
No, no one was there.
So you didn't meet anyone. What did you do when you arrived at the port?
Слушайте, один ответ лучше другого.
I took a look around.
Good.
Ай,
The
отлично.
officer said that you were inside the port. Why did you go to the piers?
Следы крови?
There were traces of blood.
Don't lie, Del Nero. My officers didn't find any traces of blood. Why did you go to the piers?
I heard some noise.
Interesting. What did you find at the piers?
Господи. Отлично.
McLean's body.
Ой, вообще ужас.
Interesting. If you don't mind, Del Nero, I'll tell you my version of the facts now. I'm sorry if it's not as exciting as yours. There aren't any mystery men or anonymous calls. I think that someone was tailing Sean McLean and then decided to tell you he was at the Melville port. Maybe he did it for the money or for some sort of professional ethics between you private detectives.
Crap.
Let me finish, Del Nero. With that information, you took a cab to the port, making sure you had your gun with you. When you got there, you found McLean and you shot him in the stomach. That's how it went. Admit it, Del Nero.
Не надо на меня давить.
I didn't
Ужас.
kill McLean.
No? So let's talk about the gun you had in your hand when the officer surprised you at the port. You shot out from behind the docks, running like a madman with a gun in your hand. Is that right?
Естественно, нет.
Yes, I had my gun with me.
Paraffin analysis on your gun shows that you used it tonight. How do you explain that?
I already told you that my gun went off during the scuffle.
Oh, of course. The scuffle with the mystery man. A man whose face you didn't see and that the officers didn't find any trace of. Del Nero, there were only two people at the port tonight. You and McLean. You were the one who killed McLean!
Why would I have killed him?
Revenge, Del Nero. Nothing but revenge. McLean confessed to your involvement with the Valenti family, and that cost him his job on the force and got you a year in the state prison. Well, that seems like a plausible reason to kill someone.
These are just theories, Malone.
These are the facts, Del Nero. Confess. It was you who killed Sean McLean.
It
Сколько раз
wasn't me.
можно говорить, что это был
Say
не
you're
я.
guilty, Del Nero.
I won't confess to something that I didn't do.
Вот
Del
именно.
Nero, the law allows me to keep you here for as long as I need to. If you confess now, the judge will go easy on you, and you might get off with a
Да уж.
lighter sentence. Otherwise, you stay here in this room until we find the evidence that shows you're the killer. And if we can't find them, I'll make sure that something turns up. Goodbye, Del Nero.
Bastard. Dannazione. Malone won't take too long to get the proof he needs. I have to find a way out of this situation.
Да, выпутываться нам нужно. Слушайте, ну какой настырный человек. Просто, главное, за 5 минут все это сочинил, всю историю. Ну, я имею в виду, естественно, Мелоуна, да? Просто не слушать, что ему говорят. Нет, это ты убил, потому что у тебя были мотивы.
Hey in there.
What's happening now?
Someone paid your bail. Pick up your personal effects at the counter and beat it. We need the room.
Right when I was starting to be fond of this place.
If you want, I can always toss you in a cell for a few days.
Is this a formal invitation to meet your family?
Huh.
I'd better get out of here quickly. I don't want to spend another minute in this place.
Да, кстати, почему-то субтитры здесь... Короче, вот этот мужик, охранник, сказал, что за него внесли залог, и что он может выходить. И да, что он может, в общем, покинуть эту комнату, потому что... Да, и он сказал быстрее сделать это, потому что нам нужна эта комната. Вот, и что там в конце про то... слушайте, и когда он сказал, что да, и... Господи, я уже забыла, что он сказал. В общем, этот охранник пошутил якобы про то, что вот если хотите, мы вам оформим на несколько дней в камере. Ну вот что-то такое. Думаю, вы поняли. Ладно, хорошо, давайте заканчивать эту серию, она как-то затянулась. Вам я говорю большое спасибо за просмотр, я надеюсь, что вам нравится. Мы с вами встретимся в следующих сериях, и до